Sober October, day 1. What are your do's and your don'ts? It's often said there is really just one rule to Sober October. Don't drink alcohol. Makes sense. Don't drink, get sober, and stay sober, and do that for 31 days. That's all you have to do. And while it really is that simple, people are typically not that simple. We're a mixed bag of motivations, desires, emotions, thoughts, and they all compete against each other to drive our will and our way. So while don't drink really is the quote-unquote rule of Sober October, I think there are plenty of other things we need to be thinking about in terms of what we should and shouldn't do in order to make it through the month without drinking. So in other words, don't drink is the main goal, but definitely not the only goal. To set ourselves up for success, we need to have some sort of plan, an idea of how we're going to go about doing this. So we need to define our do's and don'ts for the month so that we can make it 31 days without drinking. So let's walk through this. What are the things we should be doing to help us achieve our goal? And what are the things we shouldn't be doing that could hinder us from reaching our goal? In goal setting, this is sometimes referred to as outcome goals versus process goals. Our outcome is to stay alcohol-free for 31 days. But having that as a goal doesn't necessarily help us reach the goal. We need some process goals, which are focused on actions. Process goals are the things we do or don't do that help us get to that outcome goal. Process goals are all about the actions that move us closer to the outcome. Example, I want to run a marathon. That's an outcome goal. Process goals would be develop a training plan, run according to the plan, eat and fuel each day accordingly, get enough rest, focus on recovery. These are actions we can take to get to the goal of running a marathon. Another example, want to pay off our debt. That's an outcome goal. Process goals would be work extra hours when possible. Don't spend more than blank each month. Save a portion of your income and then pay off blank each month to a credit card, school loan, whatever it is, mortgage, that kind of thing. Those are actions. Those are process goals. When it comes to not drinking and Sober October, clearly the outcome goal is to not drink for 31 days. But what are the process goals? What should we be doing or not doing to get the outcome that we want? Well, this is where you will want to identify the things you can do or avoid that'll support the ultimate goal. Some things you want to think about. What are the activities, events, relationships that sometimes motivate or support your drinking? Is there somewhere you go where drinking is heavily involved? Are there people you hang out with where drinking is almost always the norm? Are there people you hang around with who almost always encourage your drinking? Will you be able to go to these things or hang out with these people and not drink? Be honest. Would it be better to maybe avoid these situations, these things, maybe these people for the next month? These are things that you'll have to consider avoiding to make it easier to not drink. Examples. Maybe don't go watch football games at sports bars. Don't surround yourself with people who enable your drinking habit and give you crap if you don't want to drink. Empty out your house of alcohol. Don't not have a plan for all this. You get the point. You need to think through this stuff because odds are you're going to encounter something or someone, and if you're not prepared, you're probably going to give in. This is your goal, so I assume you want to achieve it. To achieve it, you need to avoid certain things. These are your don'ts. Also, what are the things, the activities, the relationships that could help and support you not drinking? Examples, tell friends and family what you're up to, especially people who are supportive. Maybe put some workout time or exercise time throughout certain points of your day. Focusing on health can really help achieve this type of goal. Double down on your morning routine. Create a routine before bed so you're ready for the next day. Incorporate these goals around sobriety into your prayer time. Maybe fill your fridge with non-alcoholic beverages. We're going to get into that in a later podcast. These are your do's. And then last question, are there any triggers or time that prompt you to drink? Example, times when you feel stressed or anxious, moments where there's this strong urge to drink and relax. These are your triggers. They're feelings or they're moments that can prompt us to drink. You need to think through what you will do differently when these moments will happen, because they're going to happen. And all of this should be your focus for the next month. And based on my experience, it's going to be harder now, early on, until it becomes more normal, and then it'll finally get easier. You'll forget certain do's and don'ts because they're not normal yet, and that's okay. The goal isn't perfection. And just to wrap it up, the best way I've found for thinking through outcome goals and process goals is to write them out using this format. In order to stay sober during October, I am going to, and then you list out all your do's. In order to stay sober during October, I am going to avoid, and then you list out all your don'ts. You write that out, you review it each morning so it's fresh, and then bonus, if you share it with someone. If you do that, it's really going to stick, and you're going to remember, and you're going to be prepared. For a lot of you, this is still new territory though, so go easy on yourself. You're going to fall back into old patterns, acknowledge it, move forward rather than dwell on it and letting shame and guilt build up. These rules are meant to guide you and help you, not to beat you up. If you fail, learn from it, move forward, stay sober. That's it for today. I hope you find this helpful for whatever your goals are. And as always, thanks for listening.